can never get back to you.
And it says you are live. So I assume we are
Very good.
live.
Very good. All right. Well, welcome to Living by Oak Values, where in the past 68 or some odd episodes, Rob and I have been discussing core values. And the past few weeks, we have turned a new chapter and we are talking about how to build the man that you want to be. So taking those values and turning them into something that you want to become. So most men are told to play it safe, to be nice, to be harmless, and to not make waves. But here's the truth. Harmless men cannot protect their families. They cannot protect what is important to them. So a good man is not a weak man. A good man has to know how to be dangerous, but he has to know how to harness that energy. I'm Gary, the Superior Mailman, and today we are going to be real, raw, and we're going to help you rebuild. Take it away, Rob.
Oh, okay. And I'm Rob. And I kind of had to do a little bit of research on today's topic because um, Gary told me what the subject was about, but he didn't give me a value. And so I said, hey, what is a value that equals being capable of destruction, yet having self control? And the best one I could find was temperance.
Hmm.
And the best reference in a movie that I know of was in Spider-Man, where Uncle Ben says to Peter, with great power, there must also come great responsibility. In a world where we often confuse reckless power, temperance is what separates the dangerous man from the trustworthy man. It's what makes him safe at home, makes him a steady leader, husband in the heat of the conflict. And so, my big question for everybody out there is, are you the man who can be trusted with the fire or just the man who carries it?
Good question. I feel like I am the man who can be trusted with the fire, but that has not
Mm.
always been the truth. Um, and part of what I want, before I get into any more, I want to, a lot of this that we're talking about today, a quote that I heard, actually, I heard it on on one of the TikTok lives that I attend every night with a guy, C.E. Shuffler. He was a guest of ours back a while back. But the quote was, and he didn't come up with it, but the quote was, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And I love that saying because it's the same with are you responsible with that fire? Or you just, what did you say again?
So, are you the man who can be trusted with it,
Right.
or are you the one who carries it?
Gotcha. So that warrior in the garden can be trusted. But that gardener in a war, he cannot be trusted because he's just going to go crazy trying to defend when he doesn't know how. And that gardener
Mm.
reminds me of myself prior to doing this work because he is the guy, he is not responding. He's reacting. Things are going sideways and he is reacting. Trying to step on fire is putting him out.
Actually, I heard your Facebook post about
Yeah.
this, and I was like, wow, that doesn't sound right because um, a warrior
Mhm.
is not a nurturing person.
Okay.
So if you stick them in the garden, how are they going to grow anything?
Hmm. Why do you say a warrior is not a nurturing person?
What is the purpose of a warrior?
To fight. But a good warrior, a true warrior, will know how to rally his people, nurture them when needed, and push them to be ready for battle. So I think there's a difference between a warrior and a fighter. A warrior will lead into battle. A warrior will he's a guy that he will get you prepared. He will nurture you, but he will hurt you if he has to. He will love you, but he will kill you if he has to.
Mm.
So, and I think that the paradox of masculinity is a lot of men, we feel like we aren't alive if we're harmless. If we're harmless, we're just soft. We're not truly living. So a lot of men go above and beyond. They try to act tough. They try to be more than they really are. They try to act dangerous, but they're not doing it with discipline. What are your thoughts on that?
So when you say danger
Mhm.
and you say you don't use discipline, what do you give me an example? What kind of danger have you used?
Without discipline?
Because in my past, yeah, I'm talking about like yelling and screaming at people.
Okay.
I used to yell and scream because people didn't understand me or yell and scream, and I thought I was dangerous or
Right.
acting dangerous.
You were not disciplined. You were just yelling. That's the guy I'm talking
Right.
about. Or the guy that picks a fight for no reason.
Mm.
So
So
that's
how do you keep it in check?
how do you keep the danger by doing the work, by being disciplined, by knowing what you're fighting for. If I'm fighting to impress somebody, if I am fighting or yelling to make myself seem more of a man, that's not discipline. But if I'm fighting for you, if I'm fighting for something I believe in, if I'm fighting for my peace, something I've built, then that is discipline. And you keep that in check by making sure that when you have to fight, that you are looking into your values. What am I fighting for? Does this align with what I believe in? Am I doing this just to do it? Or does it align with what I believe?
So how do you not give in to your impulse? Um, Media nowadays kind of
Mhm.
tells people to give in to their impulse and go off on people about different points of views. So how can you? Yeah, turn the light on.
Yeah. Turn it on. It didn't. It
Yeah,
got my other light went out, but I don't know why. Maybe whatever.
keep that one on.
All right.
Yeah. So
So how do I
media
not give in
kind
to
of.
impulses?
How do you not give in to your impulses when everybody around you is telling you to give in to impulses?
Well, the question is, why are you listening to everybody around you? And that's why you ask questions. So how do I control that? Like if people around me are going crazy about whatever, how do I not jump in? I don't jump in by watching them, first of all, look like fools. Second of all, asking what are they really fighting for? Are they fighting for their beliefs, or are they fighting because the television said fight for this? Does that make sense?
Kind of. But what is something recently that you gave into temptation wise that it was like, did you really need to give into that impulse?
I think the last time was probably an argument with my ex-wife, and we actually I think it probably had something to do with politics, and
Hmm.
it got hot, and I had to walk away because someone was going to get hurt.
Mm.
So I gave into my impulse in the sense that I got into the argument, but I regained control by walking away, by understanding that someone was going to get hurt and it wouldn't be good for either party.
So giving in to your impulses,
Mm-hmm.
especially arguments that are, I want to kind of say needless sometimes because I get into a lot of needless arguments. What do you think that does to your legacy?
It destroys it. That because I don't want to go there because that's there was a saying we said in Navy all the time, but I'm not going to say it like that. But you could build 100 houses and be a carpenter, and the minute you do something, one stupid thing, you're no longer a carpenter. Now you're this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that one argument that will destroy your legacy. That's where discipline comes in, and you have to be able to control the monster inside.
Mm-hmm. So, what are some techniques to control that monster inside?
Well, same techniques I use every I talk about every single week: meditation and breath work. But if you want to not do those, the biggest technique is asking yourself, but it takes a minute to step back and say, where does this fight align with my values? Where does this fight align with what I have built? Or am I fighting because you said something that triggered me? If it's just a trigger word that's going to get me fired up, I have to stop and say, where are my values? How does this align to what I believe in? Just because you think something, it's funny actually. I just saw the other day. I think it was a Charlie Kirk thing. Just because you disagree with me doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean I'm wrong, which is true. I mean, there are things that you believe that I don't believe to be true. It doesn't mean that you're wrong. So am I going to fight you for that? Or am I going to say, where does this align with my values? And I need to understand where you come from and accept the fact that this is what you believe. And that's awesome. And I hope that your values align with what you believe, and good for you. That's the discipline that holds the lion inside.
I always practice like the pause before responding. Okay. Especially if somebody is doing a disagreement. I used to like want to always have the last word or something, but now I pause myself for like 5 or 6 seconds, even longer. You know me. And I have to ask myself, is it worth responding with the way I want to, emotionally respond? Because I might be heated, right?
So
but if I stop myself and I say, is this for good? Then I have to ask myself, yes or no. Then I am responding from intention versus impulse. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
So it's hard to stop yourself, but once you practice and practice and practice, it becomes easier. But then everybody gets impatient with you. They're like, hey, are you responding to me? Hello? Are you there? Are you there?
The thing talk about me right now, because you go silent forever. I feel like sometimes I'm like, did I lose you?
Oh, I do that with the Lily too. She's like, are you there? And I'm just like, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking how to respond, because if I don't respond, I don't want to respond with an impulse. Is what I don't.
Well, that's a reaction, and that's I think a lot of men do that, especially with their wives or soon-to-be ex-wives or whatever you want to call it. Like, I know when I was going through my divorce in the early stages, I reacted. You didn't get one response out of me. Everything was a reaction. Everything was me trying to put out fires, but they were the fires that I started. And now they're out of control. Now they're coming back to burn me. So I am stepping on them. So that was a great example of an undisciplined man. Now
Mm.
that I understand my values, I consider myself to be that warrior in the garden. I can grow a tomato. I can nurture my daughter, but I will stand up and defend everything that I have. And that takes, just discipline. That takes going to the gym every day. If it has to get physical, being ready to fight. If it takes just talking, being ready to respond versus react. Being that calm man. There's another one that says, there's another saying that the calmest man in the room is the most dangerous or something, isn't there? Was it the quietest man in the room? I don't, whatever. But the point is that you need to be prepared to fight, but you need to be calm also. You can't be that crazy, screaming, yelling dude. So my question for you, how do
All right.
you how do you teach young men who are looking to be both strong and gentle? How do you teach them to be good but dangerous?
I don't know.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
I don't
Well,
know that answer. I don't know how you teach them because that's wisdom that you have to gain. It's not something that is easily taught.
okay. Well, I know that we're both girl dads, but I feel like if I'm talking to somebody and about being dangerous but good, it's all about teaching values. More than teaching, it's demonstrating. Living by your values so others can see you living by your values. So they can adapt the values and then they'll fight for what they believe. They will protect for what they believe. That makes sense. I mean, I think that like my old man, he taught me to fight for family, but I never really learned how to fight. So when it came down to a divorce, I reacted, but my intentions were to save my family. Does that make sense? But I didn't know how that aligned with my values. But I was told, or I watched and learned to fight to keep my family. So I was taught a partial lesson, I guess.
So you were a warrior in the garden. You
I
were
was, an,
fighting to keep your family.
but I didn't know what that meant. And
Mm.
looking back on it, I would say I was a warrior in training because looking back on it, I did not know my values. And if I had fought any harder to keep my family together, it would have been awful because we are far better. My daughter and I are much tighter right now. I am much happier without my ex round. Um, so it would have been a toxic, chaotic outcome, which is not a win.
Mm. Interesting.
So my next question for you is, since you are a man of God, how do faith and values keep you strong and aligned with goodness instead of being chaotic?
Faith and values keep me aligned from being good to chaotic.
Good rather than chaotic. So how does God and your
I don't think
values?
it does
Okay. So your faith and
because
values don't keep you where you need to be
no, you're saying good, not
over chaotic.
but right. You. Mm.
So how all right, let me rephrase that. How does faith and your values keep you as a warrior?
Keep me as a warrior. Mm, if that's the case, I don't know that it's about being a warrior
Okay.
as much as it's being. Uh, it's not being a gardener either, but it's about learning to live in the chaos.
Okay.
Because a warrior fights, right? And a
Sure.
gardener heals. But the way the world works is you're just a blip in the universe.
Okay.
And so you're living in chaos always.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's
this is going to turn into a whole nother episode here because I feel like I disagree with that. I, for the
okay.
most part, control the chaos around me. It might
Mm,
be chaos over here to the left and chaos to the right. There's no chaos right here. So
mm,
when I am undisciplined, I allow that chaos to enter.
mm,
Does that make sense? And I've been there. I've been that chaotic, hot mess of a guy. I'm all over the place.
mm,
But I have with
mm,
with being in touch and with the breath work and meditation, I keep that chaos at bay. It is down the street.
mm,
It is outside. It does not come in here.
mm.
And if it does, then I have to recenter. I refuse to live in
Okay.
chaos.
So when was the last time your anger could have destroyed something?
I don't know. Probably that same fight with my ex-wife.
Mm,
Like I don't let
gotcha.
that affect me anymore. Like, but if something affects my life, my daughter, I'm ready. It hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't trust that if I sit here and keep that chaos over there and the chaos over there, my daughter back here behind me, my family right here, and what I've built, if I'm not constantly ready, I'm afraid that I will lose it when that opportunity for someone else to take it arises.
Hmm.
So if you want,
Interesting.
if you come by and you see that my life is peaceful, I've got it all under control, and you say that looks
Mm,
nice, I'll take that from him. But if I am not prepared to defend what I've built and what I have, you will easily take it from me. I will be a gardener in a war. But if you come and decide that this looks good and you want to take it from me, I am ready to defend this. And my daughter and whoever
mm,
is on this side will see the man that I am. They will see me stand up and protect.
gotcha. Got So, how do you show that to your daughter?
Show what?
How does she know that you have her back?
I only thing I can do is tell her that. She has to
Mm,
trust in me based on the fact that the way I lead her by telling her if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. She has to know that my word is real, and it is. So I hope that she never
mm,
has to see me fight for her or for what we have. But if she ever has to see it, she will see it, and we will prevail.
interesting.
Do you not feel the same way? So you just by when you say you try to live or can live in the controlled chaos, how do you protect what you have?
Live,
Isn't that what you
live
said? That you
in
have to.
the
What did you say earlier about the
no.
chaos?
It's chaos all around you. You're
Right.
just a blip.
So how do you control or defend what you have if chaos is all around?
Learn to love the chaos.
Okay. Hmm. Do you love the chaos?
Not all the time, but it's becoming easier as I practice it.
Okay. How do you practice loving chaos?
Well, because life is not predictable. And when
Not
you think you have it under control is when it comes and sneaks up and takes you from behind, does it not?
depends. Are you ready? Are you the warrior?
Ready for what?
Anything and
No.
everything. That's where the warrior comes in. The chaos comes and
But
sneaks up behind you, and you stop it.
that's like, hmm, how much are you going to guard your life from a thief?
I'm a thief.
Yeah,
My life
yeah.
to the death. I won't let a thief take my life from me.
But I mean, how much can you actually protect your life from a thief?
How much? Oh, uh, what kind of measurement do you want? Like, I don't know. I will. I will.
Any measurement.
I will destroy that thief. If someone's trying to take my life, I will fight to the death.
Mm,
But if we're talking about just general life, like when I lost control with my ex-wife, if she came here right now, yelling and arguing, or called me,
hmm
I would just shut it down. I would tell her to go home, come back when she's calm. I would lock the door. I'd hang the phone up, whatever it takes. Shut it down till she calms
hmm
down. We can have a conversation. The chaos is not coming here.
But there's no control of when a thief steals your life. A good example. The fox and the chickens.
Okay.
I can't control that fox taking my chickens until it happens.
Yes. Just like I can't control a thief from taking someone else's life. So if the fox is
Correct.
coming for your life, will you just give in or are you going to fight the fox?
Well, if you don't know there's a fox, how do you prepare for it?
By being strong.
The chickens can't be strong.
I'm not
They're
talking about the chickens.
chickens.
I'm talking about you. Can't control others.
Mm,
You can't control others. I'm assuming you're talking about chickens when being others and protecting them from the fox.
no, chickens are you.
I'm not a
Chickens are
chicken.
you and me.
I'm better than a chicken.
Okay. Ah,
Anyway,
okay.
so all right, well, all right. So you consider yourself more of a gardener.
Not really, because a gardener is nurturing.
Okay.
If you put a gardener in war, what are you going to get but somebody who can nurture the ones that are hurt?
If you can survive that long.
If he can survive that long, right?
Right.
But if you put the warrior in the garden, can he grow anything?
Yes. Because I said a warrior is not just a fighter. You have a fighter, and a warrior is a fighter, but he's also a nurturer. He nurtures his men. He nurtures his
Mm-hmm.
family. He brings the peace. He protects the peace at all costs. He feeds the family.
Mm-hmm.
Protects and feeds. Protects and serves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I just feel like there's warriors and there's gardeners. I'm sure there's a whole bunch in between. I'm sure there's a bunch.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're
Yep.
not going to go down that rabbit hole though. That would be a
Yeah,
12-hour
I'm
episode.
careful because I think this conversation could go very far in a different
Yes,
direction, and I'm like, I don't know. So,
but I think that
let's wrap it up.
yes. But real quick, the last
Oh,
point I
go
want to
ahead, go
get
ahead, go
to
ahead.
is that it is. I feel like it is important for boys and men to know their values and what they stand for, so they can defend or respond properly and do what it takes to keep what they build at peace. One last thing on what you said earlier with the chickens. Like the military, we practice all the time. There's always a practice war.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who's attacking,
Mm-hmm.
or who's going to attack, or who's not going to attack. But we practice and practice so that when that attack comes, whether it's a big country or a little country, whether it's a machine gun or a missile, we are prepared. And that's the point of practicing. That's the point of being disciplined, being prepared to defend what you have built. So if you're not there, if you're not practicing, you're not ready to defend, the day the fight comes to your door, you will not last that long. So I guess the point is, I just think it's very important for men, but boys as they're growing up, to know their values, to understand what they might want to fight for someday, versus listening to what the TV is telling them to fight for. To listening instead of listening to what the neighbor says to fight for. What aligns with your values? That will make you the man that you want to be by fighting for your values. Wrap it up. You want to agree?
Now it's the wrap. All right, sorry. Whatever. And so that's the wrap. So as you go about your week and you notice where your strength shows up, pause. Use temperance. Choose restraint and use your power with a purpose. Be the one who uses strength to earn trust and not fear. People around you will feel it. Big things are starting to happen, conversations that are going to cut deeper than ever, new episodes, and unfiltered guests. All right?
Good.
Yep.
All right. Remember, the world needs more men that are trusted, that stand up for you. So ask yourself tonight, are you harmless? Are you destructive? Or are you a warrior in a garden? Are you there for your brothers? Are you there for your family? Are you there to build your legacy? We're all waiting on your answer. Remember to grab your free ebook. It's our first ebook ever, the first 30 days. And every Thursday at 7 p.m., we have our Motivated Men's Group where we get together and we are vulnerable and just talk about life in general. The link is in the website, northmancoaching.com, or if you join our newsletter, The Inner Circle, you will get a link to that and an email every single Monday with the podcast attached and everything that you need to know to stay updated. So until next time, stand up, speak the truth, and above all, stay authentic.